Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Final Fantasy XIV video. In today's video, I really just want to talk about how I managed to get my crafters and gatherers to max level in a time span of about a week or two, give or take. It really depends on how much time you put put your effort in to put the effort in to get them to 90. I probably could have done it in a week's time if I really just concentrated on gathering and crafting. But in any case, I did follow a guide and I will leave a link down in the description below of the guides that I followed. I think pretty much I nearly followed it to the letter, but there are some changes that I did. But in any case, the general idea is there, and I'll try and condense everything that I did in one small video. First of all, let's talk about gatherers. So, for the gatherers, for the miners, and for the miner and the botanist, all you have to do is level yourself to level 10, which is pretty easy. You can basically do that with your job quests, from level 5 and just gather a few things. You can even use leave if you really want to, but I would suggest just leave that out. And then come here to the diadem. So the diadem, I think, is the best way. You can watch a video on YouTube, or just watch a movie on Netflix or something along those lines while you gather on the side. So from level 10 all the way up to level 80 is where my miners and botanists basically lived in the diadem. So I did update my gear during level 60, 70, and then by the time I got to 80, I just started doing collectibles and trying to gather white scripts. Now, white scripts is something you can do relatively earlier on, but for me, I ended up just leveling all the way to 80, and so that way I only have to gather the white scripts once for the level 80 gear. So if you don't know where the level 80 gears are, usually they're just where your collectible appraisers are, and you can just there's a tab there you can follow through. But that's basically where my miner and botanist is from level 10 to 80. I might have said from level 1 earlier, but I don't remember. But yeah, level 10 to 80, this is where miner and botanist. Now, as for my fisher, uh, I end up just using my leaves on my fisher. It was basically leaves and Grand Company turn-ins and Grand Company leaves as well, the big ones. Uh, you can technically bring your fisher in here in the diadem. It also works, but I didn't do that because my fisher was already like 60 something when I transferred here in the Oceanic server, and I basically did what I did with leaves and and that Grand Company turn-ins, and that's all the way to 90. Um, as for the level 80 to 90 for my botanist and my miner, I end up just gathering resources for my crafters, and I managed to get to max level, believe it or not. There are a few collectibles here and there, but for the most part, it was basically just gathering and trying to be self-sufficient. So, believe it or not, it actually works. You can technically just stay here in the firmament as well. You can go back to the diadem and level yourself from 80 to 90 there. Use collectibles. Custom deliveries is another way to get white scripts as well. So that's basically it for the gatherers. That's how I managed to get to max level. Now, as for the crafters though, so all the resources you get in here are basically funneled into your crafters. So you have to be level 20 in order to actually start giving collectibles here in the firmament. I would suggest going around 20 to 23, level 23, because there are some secondary tools that can only be equipped at level 23, I believe. I believe some of the crafters. It's a bit weird. Some of the crafters are like level 21 and some are 23. I can't remember on top of my head, but I would say that's where the ballpark is. Um, and basically just buy NPC gear for at least level 23, and you can basically start doing collectibles. And you talk to this guy, excuse me. Yeah, and you start just crafting this, because all the things you've gathered are basically funneled into this. Now you will need some uh like out of permanent mats, like the algoat skin. You can farm those. They're a Realm Reborn stuff. They're pretty easy to get, or you can just buy them if you really want if you already have some gil lying around. But if you want to be self-sufficient and not use all those gil for your crafters, then basically you have to go farm it yourself. You can also use your retainers to actually grab some of those things as well. Um, you also get some Kupo stamps, which you can make some money out of with the Kupo of Fortune if you're lucky enough. So basically from 23, somewhere around there, all the way to level 50, this is where you live. Excuse me. So the next thing is, now that you're level 50, what's next? So the first thing you need to do is actually do your job quests all the way up to level 50 until you get your primary tool for your crafters. Now that's gonna be a slug. Let me tell you, it's a bit of a slug. And not gonna lie, it took forever, and it's yeah. Even with skipping cutscenes and stuff, that's where you have to what you have to do. And as for gear, you will have to craft your right side, which is your accessories, but for your armor on the left side, all you really have to do is go to your Grand Company, which I'm doing right now. I am part of the Millstorm, and I will show you where you can grab your level 50 left side gear. You can also do this with your gatherers. I believe there are some gear here for the gatherers as well. If you don't really want to pay for the level 50 for, with the NPC for the gear. But yeah, basically the gatherer gear, I just bought NPC stuff. So I believe it's in here. And so there's some gathering gear here. And there you go, there's some stuff, but we are after the level 50 stuff. Is it this one? Ah, here we go. So the artisan specs, artisan gown, artisan finger stoles, and the artisan, I don't know how to say that. But these are basically what you get for your crafters. And again, you can grab your gather gear here as well. I think there are some few of them are, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's just the helm. I don't remember. I know there's some weapons as well. So there you go. There's a miner here. There's a fishing rod there. But yeah, I mean, at this point, if you're doing the job quest, I think the job quest item level is better, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong with that. But this is where you get the left side for your crafters for your level 50 crafting. Now, once you have all those, you've crafted your accessories, you've got your level 50 left side gear as well as your primary tool, and buying the secondary tool, or maybe you receive one from your job quest. I don't remember on top of my head. It's time to go back to the firmament. Now, because you are if you are following this video, because you are basically grabbing all the resources in the item anyway, you will still have some or a lot of leftover materials, which you can level yourself all the way up to 63, I believe. So you go back here, and these basically go up, and you just have to keep crafting. There are some macros available in the link in the description below on the video. I'm pretty sure he provided some. There are some things that I did kind of change, but for the most part, it's still pretty much the same. They do have some gear recommendations as well. Why am I looking back? And that's basically what I did to 63. Now, once you hit 63 or level 60 is where things get a little bit harder, at least in my opinion. I ended up asking a friend of mine to actually craft me level 60 crafting gear. Just, just the not the best level 60 gear. I believe it is just, yeah, the level 59 maybe? Yeah, the level 59 stuff maybe it's what I asked for. I don't remember what they are called. Um, where are all the gathering stuff for level 60? Yeah, I think it's level 59. I thought it was somewhere. It should be here, right? Usually Weaver has some crafting stuff, but for some reason it doesn't. Hmm. Anyway, is the level 60 just the normal one? He ended up making it high quality. I do apologize. I don't know where it is in here, but that's basically what he crafted me. Whatever that is, and it kind of made things a lot easier. However, if you are, not planning to, or you don't have a friend that can craft you the level 60 gear, um, doing collectibles and doing custom deliveries are probably the way to go. Get some white scripts and get the gear there. But essentially, you can also buy NPC gear, but I don't recommend it. It'll be a lot more difficult because I still end up staying here all the way to 70. So I got my 60 gear, crafting gear, and I stayed here till level 70. And from 70, I ended up doing custom deliveries and white scripts and getting the white scripts gear from there. And from there, it's basically collectibles, collectibles, and more collectibles. For the alchemist, though, there are some things that are really hard to get mats. Being self-sufficient, it takes a little while to get them, so you might want to pop some leaves in for your alchemist to follow through, and the same thing can be said for the culinarian. Um, and that's basically it. You can also stay here till you're level 80, so you do your 70 stuff while doing it here. If you still have some more materials left over, right? You can still level through here from 70 to 80. Now, once you're to level 80, you basically just grab the white scripts gear for level 80. And what I did was basically I went to Razatan, and that's where I ended up just doing collectibles. That's it. And like I said, I tried to be self-sufficient as much as possible. And my gatherers naturally, just from gathering the materials that I needed, just naturally leveled to 90. And believe it or not, they still couldn't give me enough mats for all my crafters. So, excuse me. So yeah, collectibles. I did do leaves for my alchemist though. I didn't really purely went collectible appraiser on my alchemist because there are some that are very annoying to make, and it's very, you will have to buy some mats for that or gather it yourself, or, fight mobs, leathers and stuff like that are really hard to come by. And that's where your bicolor gems make an appearance. So using your bicolor gems, if you have some, you can actually buy the the leathers or any materials really that are needed for crafting. And what I did was I bought some leather, bought some of the what was it? The almasty fur was another one that's pretty annoying to get, and any other really annoying materials to get where you have to kill mobs. I kind of bought with my bicolor gems. You can also use your retainers to farm up some of these materials, like what I usually doing now. And this is how I kind of making my money right now. People from buying leather from me. But yeah, if your retainers are all level 90, they will be pretty much um, efficient with it, and you need to gear them a little bit. But for the most part, that is what I did, and that's basically it. That's how I got all my crafters, my gatherers to level 90. Hopefully this video helped you out. And again, links down in the description below on the guide I followed. It's more detailed and they have a lot of all the macros that I use. Like I said, I kind of changed some of them to make it a little bit quicker. But overall, it's still have the same results. And that's it for this video, guys. Please do remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help the channel. I would appreciate it if you do. And leave down in the comments below if you have any other ways to level your crafters and gatherers. So let me know down in the description below, in the comment section below, I should say. And follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.